What is up, guys? It is 4 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I've been working on a ton of videos for you guys. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited for the future of the channel in terms of what's to come. But we're here to talk about the Gamescom 2018 Resident Evil 2 Remake update. And the awesome thing about this is it is exactly what I've been waiting for. Claire information. For those who aren't familiar, the original Resident Evil 2 had the A and B games. They are now trading those off for a full Leon and a full Claire campaign, where I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of differences. Things absorbed from the A and B games, I'm definitely sure of, but I'm very excited to see. And obviously we've seen actual gameplay footage of Leon, and it looks absolutely amazing, but we didn't see any of Claire. We saw Claire briefly in the original announcement trailer back at E3 2018 at the PlayStation conference, so we've been obviously anxiously waiting information for Claire's game, and that is exactly what we're getting today. So what I'm going to do for you guys is read along with the article here from Capcom Unity themselves. I will link it in the description below, and I will give my thoughts and analysis after I read it and show you these beautiful images blown up and kind of like I said, go over my thoughts on this. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's titled, Claire Returns to Raccoon City in Resident Evil 2, info from Gamescom. Recently revealed at Gamescom, Claire makes her gameplay debut in Resident Evil 2. Providing a slice of her full campaign, Claire has her own terrifying encounter to deal with in the depths of the Raccoon City police station. Claire Redfield has been on a mission to find her missing brother Chris, a mission that brings her to Raccoon City. Fans of the original Resident Evil 2 will be intimately familiar with the iconic scene of Claire riding into town on her motorcycle, shortly before meeting up with the rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy, and working together to escape the zombie hordes plaguing the city. Surviving the streets of the once lively city, Claire manages to make her way to the Raccoon City police station, hoping to find information on the whereabouts of her brother, Chris, but she finds something much more sinister instead. In this preview, Claire explores a new portion of the RPD before encountering a small, young abandoned child hiding in the sewers and waterways beneath the iconic station. Longtime fans need no introduction to who this child is, or the reason she's running scared. Sherry Birkin warns Claire that a horrendous monster is right behind her, and the next chapter in her fight for survival begins. A mutated figure wielding a pipe is out to crush anything that stands in it. Well, I guess stands in his way. They put stand in way. Anyway, and sets his eyes on our heroine as nothing more than a roadblock to be destroyed. The resourceful Claire will have her survival skills put to the test, but has a few weapons at her disposal, including a grenade launcher packed with flammable rounds of ammunition. Carefully navigating the machinery and steam coming from broken pipes, it's hard to tell where an attack might come from next. Conserving ammunition is key, and knowing when and where to get a few shots in may be the only thing between survival and certain death in this tense encounter. Sending the creature over the edge will reunite Claire and Sherry, but for how long? Just like with Leon, Claire will have her own full campaign that takes her through Raccoon City, the police department, and beyond. Familiar faces from the original game have received stunning upgrades in this remake, using the RE engine to scan real people, right down to their clothing, to bring the heroes, villains, and the world of Resident Evil 2 to life. The new Resident Evil 2 wraps up everything in an experience that both veteran fans and Resident Evil newcomers can enjoy. And they basically go on to say that this masterpiece will come out January 25th, 2019 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So, guys, it's not far at all. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that I noticed here. Now, I've played Resident Evil 2 quite a few times. Let's just say probably a couple of hundred. But let's just go ahead and say a few things here. So, this Birkin form right here, which I'll blow up on the screen, you encounter him only fightable, that is, in the B games. In the room that, in the A games, you fight the larvae. The G larvae. Now, I'm wondering if this is kind of like a reimagining remake of that room. After all, it does look like it because it does kind of have like steam pipe-ish looking things. It's just really bright and green in the original, but that's what this looks like. So it looks like they're shifting that from in Claire A, which is the canon, for those who aren't familiar, Claire A and Leon B are the canon stories, if we're going from the original Resident Evil 2. So in Claire A, you would see this Birkin form above when you're heading into the sewers, and from there, Sherry gets scared, she ends up going into a drain, and you do one of her playable segments, and an awesome song plays. Only there, called Wandering Alone. Go check it out on YouTube, it's a good song. But the point is, that was not a boss battle in the A game for Claire, which is the canon. So I'm assuming now they're shifting that B game boss battle to Claire's game only now, which makes sense, and I think it's really cool. And this definitely looks like a reimagining of that very room that you actually fight this Birkin in the B game, so that's going to be really cool. Something I noticed here, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up on my screen. So you see that she has a grenade launcher on her back, which looks really cool, just must say. But it looks like she dropped her handgun from the bottom here. I'm wondering if she gets her own handgun, if she probably does, but it looks like she drops her handgun. And something that I've been very curious to know is if this game's going to kind of like seamlessly transition between cutscene to gameplay, kind of like how Resident Evil 7 does. Even though Resident Evil 7 doesn't have many actual cutscenes, the very few, like when Mia's running in the video tape, the VHS tape where you're running away from Marguerite, that's kind of like one of the times in the game where it kind of transitions from scene to gameplay really seamlessly, which is great. And since they're using the amazing, beautiful RE engine, I'm assuming that's kind of the same thing that's going to happen here. I'm assuming that maybe either she drops her handgun in fear, and it could be like a grenade launcher only fight, which I doubt, because they've never... I don't really see like they would do that this early in the game unless this is far in the game, which I doubt. I would imagine what happens is she drops her handgun in fear, and either you have to pick it up manually, or maybe with a transition of cutscene she picks it up. But they do mention in detail that you have the grenade launcher here, so it may be a grenade launcher only fight. I'm not sure, but you do have the grenade launcher here. I wonder if it's possible to not pick it up at this point. Like, let's say if you're going for a knife-only, handgun-only run, if that's even possible in this remake. I'd have to imagine so, considering you can even do it in Resident Evil 7. So that's something to note. Birkin looks awesome. Love his design. The eye and everything just looks really well done. And I absolutely love Claire's redesign. I'm a huge fan of her original design, and Allison Court. Gotta love her. It's really depressing she's not doing the voice, but point is, I love this Claire redesign. Looks really good. And also this key art, which I'm going to show here as well. Such an awesome art, like, you know, shot here. I kind of wish it was the cover of the game, but then again, the cover of the game is kind of reminiscent to the Biohazard 2 cover, which is also a really good cover. And something I noticed here, there's not too much more to go on, but there's something I did notice I want to point out here, and I'm gonna put a small clip of this footage and just kind of like freeze it here. So in the main hall of the police station now, they've kind of expanded its look. They've added like couches and things like that. And from what we've seen in the gameplay back at E3, the one that they showed, like, you know, basically during the E3, like I think Capcom Unity stream, that where the point where Leon is talking to Marvin and he's kind of like working together with him, you see kind of like the little, like, how do you call it, like, not curtains, but I don't know what you properly would call it, but like it's kind of like curtains, something like you extend to cover something, usually found like in a hospital. But they have that in the main hall, and the reason why I bring this up is because one of the key arts here that or not rather key arts, but screenshots here that I did notice is that you see it directly behind Claire. She's holding the flashlight here, as you see, looking to see what, looking to me what seems like going to the basement, to the underground, which, funny enough, in this portion of gameplay from Leon, that's his mission, is to find the underground. So I'm assuming it either A, is locked, or maybe inaccessible till like Claire gets to it, because there were portions like that in the original game where Claire would unlock it, like in Leon B, how Claire would blow up the wall for where the helicopter is, and that Leon would then eventually be able to gain access there. You get to the part where you get the crank, and then of course you deal with Mr. X. So that's kind of like something I'm interested in. It would obviously be the opposite side of like these curtains, because if you're looking at directly at how the angle of where Claire is, that's kind of like where it would be. So very interesting to note there. It's kind of like you see like a gate type of door, where it's like kind of like you could, for example, would be able to put your hands through. So I'm very curious to see if that's a door that needs to be unlocked or what's the story with that. But this is definitely the main hall of the police station. As you can see, the second floor and just the overall general look of it. So very cool to know. I'm very curious to see what's in that underground, considering that was not in the original. At least the underground was not accessible through the main hall like that. So that's something I'm very curious to see. You see an image here of Sherry. Nothing really too special to talk about here, but obviously this is probably Claire finding Sherry, and then the whole cutscene of Sherry saying that, hey, you know, William, my dad, is right behind you, or some monster. I mean, she doesn't know yet, but yeah, that's pretty much what I gather so far from these images. But looks beautiful, looks really awesome. I'm really excited to see, you know, actual gameplay footage, but that's kind of what I got out of this. But I'm very curious to know what you guys think of this, if you might have picked up on anything that I might have missed. But like I said, this is kind of what I've gathered, that the underground is on the main hall, which is really interesting. And of course, a little analyzation of the boss fight between you and Birkin now, which looks amazing. I just cannot wait for this game. I will be analyzing, or, you know, talking about, discussing any other upcoming footage or images or any information regarding Resident Evil 2 Remake, so be sure to check that out. But if there's anything you guys have noticed yourself, please do leave a comment below letting me know what you think. I cannot wait to see more of this game, and I will definitely keep posting any updates. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for a lot of Resident Evil content, a lot of Silent Hill content, a lot of horror content in general. But I will be doing guides, walkthroughs for some of the classic Resident Evil, well, actually for the classic Resident Evils, the spin-offs, things like that, Outbreak, etc. Stay tuned. A lot of videos coming. If you're a new viewer to my channel, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe if you want to see more similar content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome day, night, depending. For me, it's going to be 5 in the morning. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.